Hello everyone. We're live again for another productive break with StepUpLabs. I guess most of you already know my name, so I will just, for typical reasons, introduce myself. My name is Charlie, the shortcut, Elena Carlotta Manavis extended. I'm the co-founder of the StepUpLabs project and a business developer and coach. And today we have this Facebook Live to talk about a topic which is quite common in our sessions, during my talks, and basically is one of the things people are struggling more often when working as a freelancer, as an entrepreneur. So understanding the difference between keeping ourselves busy, work and working. What do I mean with this? So I will walk you through a little bit of my boring personal experience to make you understand better the topic, but it will be fast, I promise. So, back in the first years as a freelance, I was the classic person working 70 hours a week, probably. I was working 7 days, 7, as my colleague Agnieszka said in a comment on our StepUpLabs group, which, by the way, you're all invited to join. I was defined the flora of the co-working space I was working from in Bali. I was always there. I was waking up in the morning, I was having a good breakfast, I was entering the co-working space, I was taking a seat. And quite often, I was leaving the co-working space late night. Was this really bringing me somewhere? Honestly, seeing it now, no, it wasn't really effective at all. So why was I acting this way? I guess most of you or all of you have heard of the word workaholism. Workaholism is way deeper than we believe. Workaholism has a psychological and sociological base, especially people that worked in corporate or as an employee generally. We have all been trained of work more, be present, do things, be there, keep your life, your day full, besides the level of effectiveness this has. I believe very few of us started as a freelancer or an entrepreneur, so this has very deep roots in our way to approach the work. And even when we take this choice of going solo, this mentality still, we keep this mentality, and it's kind of controversial because most of us made this choice not led by financial need, but trying to achieve some freedom, try to gain our time back, trying to ditch the 9 to 5. At the end, the 9 to 5 became the 10 to 10 or 10 to 12 or no weekends. So there's really nothing cool, I can tell you by my experience in being in the most beautiful and stunning places in the world, and instead of enjoying, you're chasing an internet connection. There's nothing super cool in receiving and answering emails 24 hours a day. And personally, I was finding at some point of my life frustrating receiving messages on my work chat on a Saturday night. Of course, freedom is really living at your own pace and making your own choices. So if you're happy with that, that's fine. But what I'm inviting you to is wondering why. What was really mind-shifting to me in the last couple of years was actually setting this question. Why? Why am I working 7 days a week? Why Sundays or Mondays are exactly the same to me? Why I'm giving the capability of being reached anytime from anywhere, from anyone? Why am I always doing that? What is my life made of? So when I start putting this question in my mind and mumbling about that, I would start understanding that basically I was investing in my job the majority of my life. which means my job was the source of safety, of self-esteem, of feeling that I was doing something valuable, and I was actually missing a lot from what my life was made of. I didn't have time to actually cultivate human relationships. I didn't have time to cultivate even sentimental relationship. My family was mostly knowing where I was, just following my position on Facebook. So, was it really worthwhile? This was the question I said to myself. This was the big shift I reached basically almost a couple of years ago, and I started walking in another direction. So I started analyzing what I was doing. As to a lot of my customers, but even people just coming to my talks, I really and warmly suggest start tracking your time. Not everything you're doing in a 12, 8, 6, 5 hours day, work day, is really effective. Lots of things are really happening to keep ourselves busy. Lots of things are really happening to fill our time. But honestly, it's not actually bringing us nothing valuable. So when I started tracking my time, I discovered, first of all, I was really wasting a lot of time. And the really creepy thing was that actually when I was taking some time off, I was feeling guilty. I was not in front of my laptop doing things, even if I was getting aware more and more that most of the things I was doing basically was getting me nothing. So what do I mean when I say what this thing is bringing to me? I'm not talking only about a financial perspective. I believe really that our bank account is a consequence of what we do, not a goal. So basically, I'm not saying you should actually and actively work on everything creating profit. What I'm trying to say is, set yourself the question of all the activities I'm investing my time in, am I gaining something? Am I gaining something humanly? Am I gaining something psychologically? Am I gaining something from a personal growth perspective? Am I learning something? So in this case, the activity has a reason to exist. In any other case, the real question is, why am I still doing this? So here we come to the difference between working and keep ourselves busy. And here we come even more to the, we can say, even more radical question. What should I let go? Most of people come to a business coach for a very easy reason. We tend to approach our projects and our job as we approach our kids. It's not perfect, but I'm loving it anyway. Sometimes we start being stubborn. Sometimes we're going to be there and try to save something, even if it's not working. Sometimes I use metaphors between our love life and our business life. So in both cases, when you have to make it work, it's not working. If it's not working, we might start analyzing why. What is in my power? What is in my hand to actually make it work? How much of this depends from something else? Sometimes a business idea, no matter how cool it is not working because people don't want to invest in this product or service. Sometimes the service I'm offering is not a need. Sometimes it's just a communication issue. Sometimes it's really wrong at the base. So we should actually find a way to be honest to ourselves and to get a clear view of what's going on. How is this happening? Well, I absolutely understand that not all of you feel ready to invest in a consultant or a business coach, and I absolutely support this position. Me, myself, before investing in my first business coach, I was going solo for 1 year. Big mistake in my perspective, because it really shifted my approach, my mindset, and I really started making money afterwards. But yet, I absolutely understand the resilience and the fear. So my first advice is talk to people. Ideas are growing, are developing, are getting better when we are sharing them. Ideas get new injections from other ideas, from feedbacks, from how people will give us this insight we haven't thought. We are not developing a business for ourselves. We are developing a business that is going to bring value to a wider audience. So why don't we talk with this potential audience? Why don't we talk even with the guy or the girl you just met in the coffee house and say, hey, I would love to do this. What's your opinion? So why don't you start from this perspective? Why don't you start detaching from the emotional part of try to make it work at any cost? A very useful insight as well, in my experience mostly, has been really trying to understand why it's not working from my side, and I mean psychologically. So sometimes I really spend long gaps of time trying to self-convince myself that, yeah, I really believe in this project. I really believe in this service or this product. I really believe in what I'm doing. But honestly, I didn't. So when I really believe in the value I'm bringing, when I'm really believing in what am I doing, when I'm really believing that whatever I'm doing is going to bring some good, is going to be of any use, then honestly, I don't even need to sell. Because I'm so enthusiastic that I'm just sharing my own experience, and people will start asking to me more information, and if there is a match, then we can start working together. So there's not even the need of a pitch. There's not even the need to have a sales strategy, a complex sales strategy, or being very aggressive marketing-wide. On the other hand, in my personal experience, which of course is different for each of us, when you don't really believe in what you're trying to propose, why someone else should believe in you? When I don't really believe in my own project to the level to invest money, time, and energy in it, even hiring specialists, which might be on any range, so from a web designer, a graphic designer, a consultant, or an accountant, whoever, and I'm still trying to get some sort of freebies, and why someone else should pay for me? I quite often deal with startup coaches, and my question is always the same. Do you have anyone, any coach following you, mentoring you, advising you? And quite often the answer is, I would love to, but I can't afford it. And my answer to that is always the same. Why someone else should invest in your services? Why someone else should invest in what you're doing if you're the first person not investing in it? So if you're noticing different points of this pattern, start asking honestly to yourself, why am I doing what am I doing? Why is this project not starting? Is really something outside? Is really a matter of need? Is it a matter of value? Is it a matter of marketing? Or is it maybe that even I don't believe in my project enough? Am I really earning something from what I'm doing? One of my favorite Italian ways to say figures of speech, which is basically one of my mantras, is that only idiots never change their mind. I almost 35 years old, and I've been honestly messing it up majorly for time up to now. And I'm talking for major apocalypses and every start from rock bottom. I've been trying and launching several projects. I've been trying working with several teams. I've been basically reformulating my offer. I've been trying hitting different niche. And the person I'm today, the life I'm doing today, the things I'm doing today, it's the result of a series of failures. But guess what? Failure is not an enemy. Failure is not a risk. Failure is the best lesson you can get. And if you want to learn how to succeed, learn how to fail. And how do we learn how to fail? We learn when to give up. So I'm not saying, of course, try something and be absolutely uncommitted. I've been committed to all my projects, honestly, as long as I understood that I didn't have any more value to bring, or I understood that the perception of what I was doing was wrong, or maybe people weren't interested in that, or maybe they needed a different formula in this topic. So what I'm saying is that if it's really not working and you tried tough, there's nothing bad in letting something go. So a bit more, quite more than a year ago, it's 1.5 years ago, when I left the last project I really believed with all myself. I remember I announced that to my mom. It happened to be a time of transit at my mom's house. And I was actually I had quite tranquility. I was fine. And I was like, you know what, Mom, I decided to let it go. Because it's not working. I'm not learning. It's not making me happy. I'm not having the results I was expecting. There's no reason to go further with that. And my mom, which is not an entrepreneur, but she's a very wise woman, she looked at me and she asked me, oh my God, and you wasted so much time and energy? Of course, her question was a rhetorical question. She wasn't criticizing at me at all. And what I answered her was, no, Mom, it has never been a waste of time. During this adventure, I learned several things. I optimized my way to work with a team. I now know how to choose my teams if I will have some others. Actually, later on it happened better. So according to my needs, my skills, and the complementarity between us, I learned how to run a project of this level and how to play with some kind of players, and I discovered some things about me that I could never discover before that. So what I really like to do and what I'm really good to do and what I really want to do. So it hasn't been a waste of time at all. Of course, whenever we start something, we start it with the best intentions ever. But in our business life, as long as in our personal life, in our love life, in every topic, maybe the best strategy is understanding that, okay, I'm doing this thing. Of course, I hope for the best. And of course, I will do the best I can to make it work the best way possible. But if it doesn't work, that's okay. I will learn either way something else will come out. And in the aftermath, it was a good idea anyway. At least back then, it was the best idea I could have. That version of me, this was the best she could do. So learn to let go. What should we let go? So earlier we talked about projects, we talked about business, we talked about people. Yes, people are a great part of it, and our ecosystem is really important. And with people, yes, I also include customers. I know that especially in the startup phase of a business, when you're actually trying to figure out and step out from the survival mode, you tend to say many yes. Guess what? In my experience, having a lot of customers is really counterproductive if they're not the right customers. It's better having less, but aligned with your value, your expectation, and the work you want to do. So basically working together, bringing a project to life together, being in an equal relationship with your customers, instead of having a lot of mini projects that sometimes is going to be energy and time waster. Energy and time waster for you and energy and time waster for your customer. So yes, the selection of your customer is really important, and I know that it's scary. When I started my solo adventure, believe me, I had no backups. And whatever I'm doing right now, I found a stability, and I'm in a constant growth, which doesn't mean I'm going to make 6 videos in 6 weeks, because honestly, I'm not even interested in it. But I know absolutely how you feel. I know how tough is letting this project go. I know how tough is letting this customer go, even if we understand that is not giving us that much, but is somehow creating us a solid base. Believe me, it's gonna work. All the energy and all the time you're actually wasting behind a project or a customer which is not allowing you to thrive, allowing you to grow, is all the time and the energy we could invest in actually talk to people, network, getting new ideas, test new ideas, and at some point you will find your audience. At some point you will find the person that actually wants to work with you the way you want to work, approaches the project in the same way. And this is probably the most important thing, to have a constant growth. First of all, personal, and second, in your business. So yeah, don't be afraid to let go. Another advice I will give you, which was my mom's advice when I was stepping from mid-school to high school. I chose the curriculum in Italy, which was actually one of the toughest. I wasn't a brilliant student, mostly because I was kind of lazy. I mean, I was very committed to everything I really like, and I was kind of lazy in all the other subjects. And the night before starting high school, I remember I was lying in bed, and Mom was tucking me in, and I was like, Mom, I'm scared. I'm probably making the wrong choice. And I remember my mom looked at me, and she told me, don't worry. There's only way to know, and it's trying. And there's only a way to face it. If it's not gonna work, something else is gonna work, and it's gonna work better. So whenever I found myself in front of this choice, whenever I found myself overwhelmed by what was going to happen, and all the fears that actually were just in my mind, most of them never happened, by the way, and I faced everything else that happened, so I survived until here. I can say that I think again about that evening when my mom said, that's fine, try it, and if it's not going to work, it's going to be for the best. So yes, this is all this productive break about letting go, working and keeping busy. If you have any question about it, I'm here. I will now check the chat. Unfortunately, okay. If there are some comments, please feel free. If you'd like to discuss anything with me personally, please send an email to Elena StepUpLabs.co, or of course, you're all invited to join our group. So if you will visit our page, StepUpLabs.co is linked, and I will provide to link it as well here. I'm very proud of our group, our community, because it's a community of entrepreneurs and freelancers that are brainstorming together and facing challenges together and supporting each other. So yeah, come and take a look at least. And one last announcement, which is really important for us because we're super happy about that. We are collecting all our Facebook Live in our new YouTube channel, which I will be linking here, and in all other social media channels of StepUp Labs. So yeah, if you're missing something, don't worry, you will find everything streamed in YouTube. You can watch this video whenever you want without even accessing your Facebook. So thanks to you all for being here. I've seen many people appearing during this live. It's always nice to spend breaks with you. I'm wishing everywhere you are a happy break. I know that I already counted at least 6-7 time zones following this live, so I don't know if I wish you happy breakfast or lunch or dinner, but have a beautiful day. Have a relaxing weekend, and of course, I'm always here for any question. Have a wonderful Friday.